Hello and welcome to Mike's Garage. If you've already subscribed to our channel, thank you very much. If you haven't, please do, and when you do, be sure and tap on the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we put up a new video. Also, if you hit the little like button, it helps us too, so I thank you for that. In our last video, I was in the art department. I was over at Fred's garage, and I was working on his bike, and I put the Kickstarter back together, put it on, and we showed that in the video. And I must say that when I got all done with it, I didn't like the way it felt. So I ordered a bunch of new stuff for it, and we'll be putting that in there, and we'll be showing it again. And I will show you what I've found, and hopefully that'll help somebody somewhere, because I'm fighting this one. This is one I didn't build. This was built somewhere else. Fred didn't build that starter, and I didn't either, and I'm not very happy with it. But that's okay. I don't mind being unhappy with it, because that means the happy comes with the next job, okay? That's the way that is. Okay, I needed to announce something, and I guess I could walk or talk all around it and try not to do it, but I have to do this. It's very important to me, and I think very important to a lot of us. There are certain people throughout the motorcycling industry that give more than others. I mean, there are people out there that teach and do all sorts of things, put on events, all those things that keep us going and keep the whole sport going. And one of the biggest in that was my friend Dave Hansen, better known as Huggy Bear, in Ventura. Dave passed away. I'm not real good at memorizing dates. It's been about a week or two. It's been in the last couple weeks, and like I said, I'm not real good at. The last time I saw Dave was at Chopperfest in Ventura, and we had a chance to have a good conversation. Dave was an old friend of mine, and he taught me a lot of things, and I used to thank him every time we had an event down there in Ventura. I would thank him for putting it on, because he put on some of the best events in history: flat tracking, swap meets, shows, you name it, he put it on at the fairgrounds in Ventura. And he is survived by his family, his lovely wife and his son, and a lot of other people that are connected to him in so many various ways. I can't even count them. All I can say is Dave will be missed terribly by all of us, and I think that's about all I can say about it without getting all teary-eyed and weird. So there we are. I had to do that. I wanted to mention that again. That is Dave Hansen, known as Huggy Bear, has passed. Owner of the shop in Ventura. Last year he celebrated 50 years in business. So David, wherever you are, I got a feeling you're riding that old white Chief you've had since you were a kid. Okay, now let's move on to what we're doing today. You see, tomorrow we're going to we're going to the Hippie Killer Hoedown in Temecula, California. And that's, for us, it's about a couple hours ride down there. We'll be there and we'll have a great time, and it's going to be fun. And you know, for a short ride like that, bike doesn't really need anything. But for some reason, you know, we haven't done much this season. I haven't done my usual riding, so I'm doing just kind of looking things over a bit. And I thought I'd maybe invite everybody to do that with me, because I have the time, and we're doing it now, and it's the night before the Hippie Killer Hoedown. So what I decided I was going to do was tighten up my chain just a smidgen. Now, I know not everybody understands exactly what a smidgen is. It's right up there with a skosh. It's just right even with a skosh, and a smidgen are about the same. I just want to tighten it just a little bit. When you start lowering bikes and changing angles, like the angle of the swing arm with the frame and all that, then you start ending up with things slapping, and you need to get your chain set to its kind of at that happy place. And the more you play with it, you'll find out what that really means. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to back this off a little bit. Well, that didn't work. This nut doesn't fit in there that well. So I'll get on the adjuster here. This is an early swing arm.
Round type, right?
Yeah, this is a 58 to 72 swing arm. So I'm checking to make sure that that adjuster is all the way up against the spacer on the axle. So I'm going to loosen the one on the other side.
Oh, I can't get in there.
That's all right. That's all right. Believe me, it's there. Okay. Okay? It's there. I know it's there.
There we go.
Okay. These things take such a beating, these little adjusters. So I'm only going to tighten this about a flat. So the first thing I want to do is I made sure that these adjusters are all the way up against what they need to go against. Then I just realized I need to take this thing loose. No, I probably don't. Nah, we don't need to worry about it. So what I'm going to do is take the axle nut loose.
They're going to ask, what are those, Mike?
Oh, those are rollers that my friend Stevie made for me many years ago. So my saddlebags roll up and down on them. When the bike goes up and down, the saddlebag rolls on this roller.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I changed my saddlebags, and it's a little hard on the leather, so what I think I'm going to do is rivet a piece of aluminum to the back of each saddlebag. But I don't have time to do that today because I want to get going, because I want to go early in the morning, and I want to meet my cousin and his girlfriend and for breakfast. Anyway, so there we are. I loosened the axle nut. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten these one flat each. How did you arrive at that? Well, I looked at it and I realized I had just a little bitty bit of slack in there that I didn't want. And I'll show you a couple little tricks here. So I'm going to do one flat. Now see that moving? One flat. That's exactly one flat. That would be a sixth of a revolution. Now, that's not just any kind of revolution. That's an American revolution. Okay. All right. And there is that one flat. So we had a point on top, we moved it. Okay, that's it. Okay, now, just because I want to be sure that axle's seated against it, dead blow. Hit tire. Okay? So there we are for that. Okay.
I wonder why I couldn't catch it.
Okay, now what we're going to do is tighten the axle nut. And I like to use a torque wrench on it, then I know that I got it enough, but I didn't get it too much. I think it's around 60 foot-pounds.
I think I got it.
Here we go. And there it is.
Nope, I don't got it.
Got it what?
I thought I had the nut. I guess I come from this angle.
Now I have to hold this little bracket that holds this roller. Yeah, Stevie did a bunch of work here on this thing.
He was a genius.
Yeah, he was. This chain guard has been through different setups on this bike, so it's got a bunch of work done to it. It's all welded and reinforced. These things are always cracking. I have not been able to crack this one in the last 25 years. Stevie told me I couldn't crack it, and by God, I have not. Okay, so there we go. There it is. Let's try one more time just to make sure. Okay. So now we can tighten the adjusters to where they need to be.
The lock nuts.
Yes, the jam nuts would be the proper,
Yes,
the
sir.
proper.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've been trying to figure out how to say the things that are irritating us most today, and the ones that are irritating us most. After all of this weather,
You weren't supposed to bring that up.
I'm going to bring it up. The thing that's been irritating us the most.
Circulation.
What happened? What happened is we have had a whole bunch of wet weather. I mean, we had flooding a lot of places in the state. We had bunches and bunches of wet weather. Anyway, there are mosquitoes everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
There are skeeters everywhere. We're trying to do videos, and we have skeeters showing up. Mm-hmm. So what we have that we're trying to protect, which is also ruining our videos, is this thing we call skeeter eaters.
Yeah.
So the skeeter eaters ought to eat the skeeters. But there's still going to be too much of them. Now, here's something I really wanted to show.
All right.
Okay. Now, can you see the way you know your chain is going to run smoothly and the way you know it's straight enough
Yeah, that's right.
is you have gaps on both sides of the sprocket teeth. In other words, if I get my finger in there, there's a gap there and a gap there. Mm-hmm. So you can see daylight on both sides of the sprocket teeth. When you can see daylight on both sides, it's easier on the entire machine, including the guy riding the thing.
Yeah.
Everything is really, I mean, talk about making your motorcycle happy. Harleys are all about alignment. Okay, so that's done.
You rotate the tire a little bit?
Well, when you do it, I already checked it all out, but you're right, I should show that. You always want to adjust it for the tightest spot in the chain. And what I have to do with this one is I have to do it with the thing off the jack. And then I have to jack it up, rotate it, jack it up, rotate it, because again, once you get to the point where that swing arm is the axle is actually higher than the pivot bolt on the swing arm, then you're playing around in uncharted territory, and I don't want to say, hey, set it up like mine. No, you have to set it up like yours. And you want to set it up like nice and stock. Okay, so that takes care of that. Other things that I could show, let's see. Basically, I just kind of looked the bike all over. I'm not changing the oil right now because I changed the oil, I think, a few weeks ago.
Check the level.
Yeah, I checked the level, which I did.
Air pressures.
Air pressures. You can quit now. Okay. Air pressures, the level, check the brake fluid, all those things. Make sure that I've already done most of this stuff. I just wanted to look it over for my ride tomorrow, really. Mm-hmm. And if you think that that's checking your bike over too much, just wait till you overlook something and you're in the middle of nowhere and you say, God, I wish I'd checked that.
Oh, quit it. Our little special project got me checking my bike over double.
I would hope so. Okay, now, what I wanted to say is here's one. Some of these 4-speeds, this is not my favorite kicker cover. It just happened to be in the nicest shape when I was putting one onto the 6-speed. But this is a 4-speed kicker cover. I don't have a kicker on it because my electric starter is so beefy and so strong, I really don't need that arm I'm not using hitting me in the back of the leg. So I put it away, and if I think I might need it, I stick it in the saddlebag.
Yep.
And I can put it on in a second, it works fine. But the way these work was this plug right here in the middle of the kicker cover, what it does is you fill it until it runs out of there. When it runs out of there, then you know you have enough translube in your transmission. So my dad taught me a trick many, many years ago. in the service station I grew up in. And the way he used to check the oil in the rear ends on all the trucks he used to work on is he'd take the plug out, and he had a hook. He made one out of an ice pick. But see, by going like this, okay, and then I go like this, I can see just how full it is. Which saves taking this plug in and out. Because I guarantee if you take that plug in and out a few times, it's going to leak forevermore. And I hate when things leak and I can prevent it. There are a lot of things that leak that I can't prevent, but that's one of them that I can.
Is that Shakespeare?
No, quoth the raven nevermore. It's Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe. Wow. Once upon a midnight dreary, as I ponder weak and weary.
Oh, don't start.
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, so there you have it. Like I said, I'm going to check out a few other things. My air filter is still clean enough from last time. But these are all the things you want to go through. And by adjusting my chain and things like that the night before I go, I'll have a much nicer ride tomorrow. So anyway, I just wanted to dial in and touch base with everybody, mention a couple things, and that was pretty much it. The big deal I'd like to mention again, oh yes, by all means, our t-shirts. Those are our t-shirts. If you're interested in getting a t-shirt, which I certainly hope you are, if you're interested in a t-shirt, all you need to do is go to pacificmike.com. That's our website. Up in the upper right-hand corner is T-shirt store. Click on that, and you can order a T-shirt, which we have 3 different ones. Yeah, we'll even have some more stuff one of these days soon.
Soon.
You never know.
Soon.
Anyway, so that's about it. I just wanted to say one more time, if you're anywhere in Southern California, to go to the Hippie Killer Hoedown tomorrow in Temecula. And if you should happen to maybe take part in enjoying the libations, and perhaps they've got overnight camping there this year, which is going to be fun for a lot of people. So anyway, that's the Hippie Killer Hoedown in Temecula, California, and it opens at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're certainly going to be there. There's going to be lowriders and customs, cars, bikes. They're going to be flat tracking some bikes, I think. There's going to be a bunch of bands playing all day long. One of my food, drink, vendors. I mean, everything you've ever heard of in one place. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you can make it, I'd sure like to see you. And until tomorrow, I'll see you out on the road.